Hi, good afternoon. My name is Chet here from Avion Technology here in the Chicagoland area. We are a digital agency. Um, we work with a lot of other digital agencies. So we work in a very specific market. We work with small digital agencies and help them scale up. Um, so I talk to a lot of agency owners. Today I'm going to kind of go over a problem which is very typical of a very small agency. An agency which does like maybe $10,000 or $20,000 in monthly revenue. So a lot of those kind of agencies struggle with one problem, right? Which is, how do I sell? In our business, there's two kinds of revenue streams, right? Uh, Revenue stream that you get on a project, so like a fixed project, like a fixed bid basis, and then revenue stream that you get for ongoing maintenance and digital marketing. So both of these streams together actually make up your revenue. We like the sticky revenue, so we like the maintenance work, we like the digital marketing, we like that stuff. Uh, but a lot of times the way to get to a client is through that first project, right? Through that first website, through that first app. A lot of agency owners actually struggle with sales, right? And that's not a surprise. Most small business owners actually struggle with sales. If you ask any small business owner, they usually have just two problems, right? It's sales and HR. When times are good, sales is not a problem. HR is a problem because how do you retain your people? When times are bad, HR is not a problem because everyone sticks around. But how do you get sales? So usually it's these two problems that most small business owners juggle with. But today I'm going to talk about the sales aspect of it. But actually, a lot of this also overlaps with HR because in a way, HR is also selling your company to your employees. And there's one part in this whole solution which is important both from a sales perspective and an HR perspective. But for the moment, I'm going to just talk about sales. So, how do you get new sales, right? There's a lot of channels, right? So it's outbound. So you have emails, and I don't know if those work. Frankly, they did not work for me. There's also cold calling. Again, that does not work for me either. More often than not, I have found that there's only two channels which work really well for me. One is getting business through your local chamber of commerce, but there's a flight path for that. There's a certain trajectory for that, and I'm going to touch upon that later. The second actually is working with your warm network, right? So all of us have, our networks are kind of divided into three. We have what I call your hot network, which is folks who are like really close to you. These are the people. I think there's a number. It's called Dunbar's number, right? So which is like 150. So these are all the people whom you would call for your wedding, for example, right? And that's your hot network. Usually it's friends, it's it's really close friends, it's your family, relations, all that kind of stuff. But about 150, that's your hot network. After that, we have your warm network, which is about a good 500, 600 people that you know throughout your professional life. And after that, is your cold network, right? So within your hot network and within your warm network, there's actually a few people that fit a certain personality type, and they're actually called connectors, right? Or what I call power partners. And these people are A, extroverted, B, they have a lot of connections, and C, they meet a lot of people every day. So if you want to scale up your agency, if you want to get new business, right, I would say first sign up with your local chamber of commerce. That's a no-brainer. But and start going for networking events, right? Now, how many events? I would say start off with maybe 2 events a week, scale it up to about three events a week. My own sweet spot is between 6 to 8 hours of networking every week. Anything more than that kind of tires me out. But the thing you got to remember with the local chamber is that it takes about a year before you start getting those referrals, before those leads start coming in. So you gotta invest about a year's worth of time in it before you start getting the returns. It's almost the same for the power partners, right? You gotta take them out for lunch. So usually I've seen, it's, you take them out for coffee or you take them out for lunch, and that's how you make that connection. But you gotta do it a couple of times before it starts giving those returns. So, assuming that the lead has come in, right? What do you do next? Um, a lot of owners still play by intuition. So they will get a lead, they'll call up that person, ask them, what do you want? What do you need? And usually the guy or gal at the other end has no clue what they need. So what you gotta ask a lot of, whenever you get a lead, if you're running an agency, if you get a lead, you gotta ask, you gotta take that person out for lunch or coffee, dinner, whatever. And the question you gotta ask them is, what hurts? What is hurting you right now? What is your pain point, right? And this is no rocket science, everyone knows this. 9 times out of 10, small business owners, assuming you're an agency and your primary clientele is small business owners, 9 times out of 10, they will say that what is hurting them is that they are not generating enough business, right? The fact of the matter is that running most small businesses is extremely difficult, right? So we have this myth in our mind when someone says, I'm in business, we kind of imagine like a rich tycoon, getting out of a helicopter and, with a limousine parked behind him. That's not what most business owners are like. Most businesses are actually small businesses. Most businesses actually struggle. Most businesses are usually indebted. They're in some kind of debt. And most businesses, the owners are, working at least 50 to 60-hour weeks just to keep the lights on. So most small business owners are on some kind of this insane treadmill where they have to show up to work every day. They have to keep on doing what they're doing for a long amount of time before their business gets to a stage where they can do something with it, either sell it off or whatever, or grow it. So if your client is a small business, 9 times out of 10, he or she is going to say, my biggest problem is that I'm not generating enough leads. Good, so you have a starting point. Then you gotta use something that I call active listening. I mean, it's a well-known term, active listening. But if you want to break that active listening down, what you should do is you should ask them 5 whys, right? WHY, 5 whys. So why are you not growing? They might say, there's 5 other competitors in the neighborhood. Okay, that's one why. Second is then why? What is happening, which is taking business away from you? And then they might say, that's because we're not spending enough. We're not doing enough marketing. So you got your second why, right? You have your second answer. Well, why are you not doing enough marketing? Well, we cannot afford a full-time person. That's 3. Well, why can you not afford a full-time person? Well, because we're not making enough money elsewhere. So this is all that we can do. So you have your 4. And then why are you spending money elsewhere? They will usually say because it's a very low margin business or times are tough or whatever. So the 5 whys kind of give you an insight into the business, right? And then based on that, you have to come up with a 3-year solution, right? Very important that you come up with a long-term solution. And that's when you go back to the drawing board, you use all your wisdom, you use all your knowledge of how to run the business and come up with a project plan. So if their website sucks, you tell them, this is the website I plan to do for you. This is the theme, this is these are all the bells and whistles. It's gonna have like a appointment setting a plugin. It's gonna have what else? It's appointment setting is one of the plugins that I've seen after the pandemic. They do really well. It's gonna also have this ebook about why your business is the best business in town. So it's gonna have all these different plugins and bells and whistles. So that's when you sell the project, and then you tell them that I'm gonna take that load off your head for the next 2 years by doing some marketing and doing some maintenance. Do not try to sell this as an expense. No one will buy it. A website or an app always has to be an investment. So you have to make a case of why this is an investment. If you just justify it as an expense, if you're just trying to make a sale, no one, especially no small business owner, wants to shell out money from their pocket for something that their budget is already set for the next 6 months, and they usually do not have a lot of discretionary funds available. So you got to position this as an investment, and you got to tell them that within an X amount of months or within an X amount of years, this investment will break you. If you have the confidence to say that, trust me, a client will buy. It's as simple as that. So if you're a small agency owner, keep this in mind, right? First, like I said, quick recap. If you're looking to grow your agency, you gotta go and get new business. If you wanna go and get new business, look at your local chamber of commerce, or B, look at power partners within your warm network who can make referrals for you. If you're going to the chamber of commerce, make sure you give yourself at least a year to 2 years of at least 4 to 6 hours of networking every week before you start getting the returns. If you have the power partners, take all your power partners. Usually there's about 15 to 30 power partners. Take them out once a quarter for lunch, or once in every 2 quarters for lunch or dinner, because that's how you stay on top of their mind. Once they give you a referral, this is the flight path you should follow. Do not make a sale. Do not position this as an expense. If you're selling to other small business owners, position it as an investment. Trust me, you will make it happen. At Avion, here we specialize in helping small agencies scale up. We have helped a lot of small agency owners scale up, and some of them we even helped make an exit and transition to whatever beckoned them next in their life. Some of them ended up becoming millionaires who went on to do other bigger, greater things. So if what we feel resonated with you, please hit the subscribe button, or these are our contact details. Give us a shout and let us know what you do, how you do it. If nothing else, I love to sit down with agency owners for a coffee, even if it's a coffee over Zoom, and just hear your stories and experiences and how you do it. So thank you so much. My name is Chet from Avion Technology. Have a great day.